we're going to discuss some of the locations we're going to be going to and some of the interesting locations that are haunted or reported as haunted here in Houston that we have the opportunity to go to and that maybe some of our team members would like to go to. And if y'all, when you're reviewing the video, you might have some ideas after you hear the stories about some of the places, some places you might want to go. Okay, with that said, I'm going to go and share my screen. Share. Okay, you can see my document here. Some of the places downtown in Houston that we can go and visit are the Houston Ale, is the Ale House Pub and Eatery. There have been numerous sightings and mischief there. Beer mugs go sailing across the room, food plates being flipped up for no apparent reason, a customer getting hit with things. One so bad that he files a lawsuit against the pub stating that they were responsible for his injuries. Of course, it was thrown out. This was in July of 2005. The pub was torn down a few years later and is now has a bookstore and a strip mall on the site. So we might want to visit that bookstore or strip mall and see if there's still any activity at that area. Austin High School, most of the times when students were walking alone, they felt the presence of someone following them, but only on the third floor. Many of the students have said that they have seen a young girl running down the halls. Bel Air Episcopal High School, people have claimed to hear her walk across the halls and slam doors shut, sometimes even locking them. Some of the school faculty does not stay after 10, so they would not run into her either. C.E. King High School is said to be a woman that roams the halls and looking for her love, who is said to have killed her. Is that the one we went and investigated for the police department, Jarrell?
I want to say, yeah, I do. I want to say yes, because I do remember that. And
Yep.
I do remember the school. And I'm really thinking, John, I'm going to step out on a limb here and say yes.
Okay. Crispin Road reports an apparition of a girl dressed in a purple dress. Haven't done any research on that. I'd have to do some digging on that to find out more about it. The sign marked Tinseltown 17 Theater, ghostly figures of a little boy and a man both died in a trailer park. One murdered, another burned to death when the whole thing went up. Doors opening, voices at night, lights turn on by themselves. So those are some of the things that are being reported there. Cypress Springs High School. This is a fairly new school built in 1998. They say that a construction worker died while building the school, and his body was left in the school's foundation and never found. Noises are heard in the bathrooms. In January 2006, additional information. In the auditorium theater, cold spots have been felt backstage, and there is no air conditioning back there. Footsteps have been heard on the catwalk, and it is thought to be linked to the construction worker's body. One of the custodians doesn't like to stay at night because she hears noises around the school. Edison Middle School reports of hearing screaming in a girl's locker room. Episcopal High School. Episcopal High has expanded greatly in its 20-year existence. However, many other schools have stood in its place before. The convent, the oldest building on the campus, has 4 stories, but students are only allowed on the first 3 because one of the nuns living in the convent almost a century ago hung herself on the 4th floor. The Catholic Church would not perform a service for her funeral, and out of respect, no classes of Episcopal High School are held on the floor where she supposedly still resides. The federal court building at 515 Rusk, the 10th floor, is believed to be haunted by the spirit of U.S. District Judge Woodrow Seals, who died after surgery in October 1990. The judge's former chambers are said to be colder than the rest of the floor, and the smell of smoke from his cigar still lingers in the air late at night. Janitors and security guards report being touched and hearing voices and doors rattling when no one else is around. The Fiesta Elementary School. An old teacher who was accused of abusing children was reported to have killed himself in the bathroom of this school. At night, janitors and teachers staying after hours have seen the bathroom door open and close on its own and report hearing someone walk the halls and messing with the bulletin boards. HEB on Harrisburg. Many people have seen an image of a little girl walking in the back warehouse where she was kidnapped and killed before the store was bought by HEB. Hogg Middle School. In the mid-30s and 40s, a famous gangster of the Heights area was dug up and hung up on a flagpole as a practical joke. Janitors and late-night librarians have said to seen and heard his shadow and his footsteps. Jackson Middle School. It is said that 2 girls drowned in the pool and now haunt the place. Kinggate Village. During the time in the apartment complex, a girl was killed because she saw her boyfriend cheating on her. Her boyfriend killed her and threw her in the bayou on Halloween. They say she came back to get revenge on the person that killed her. She spotted him and killed him because of what he did. In the complex building, 1501, there is a haunting of a girl that wanders around in the rooms. Some people who lived there said that they spotted her in the dark, wandering as if she were lost. When they tried to call out to her, she disappeared. They said that the stroke of midnight that a soldier walks with an arm cut off and a twisted neck. As he passes the homes, they say he breaks all the windows as if someone is shooting out bullets. And when morning comes, it's back to normal. Klein Collins High School is a brand new school that was built in the middle of the woods recently, which was actually built over a burial ground. Most students have been mentioning how they hear and sometimes see 2 5-year-olds holding hands and running down the hallways. Mendel Elementary School. This school is said to be built on top of an old graveyard. Footsteps and whispers can be heard in the halls and in the restrooms. Faucets turn on and off, and the stall doors open and shut on their own. Milby High School. People report to have seen a janitor walk in the second-floor hall. Students hear footsteps down the hall and doors slam shut. In the library, people claim to see a ghostly figure of a librarian. North Shore High School. Witnesses working late at night have seen a girl wearing high school gym clothes in the hallway leading to the girls' locker room, who mysteriously vanishes. Office building at 1011 South Highway 6. Workers staying late in the office building often hear footsteps. Elevators open as you pass them, and things move and disappear in appeared strange places. Janitors have reported activity, and some are very uncomfortable working in the building. Old Greenhouse Road. The ghost of an old woman who died in a car wreck appears here. If you turn off your headlights and drive around the corner to the bridge very slowly, a mist forms over the bridge and comes together to form the shape of a person. They say that if you stick around long enough, the apparition will begin to approach the car. My friends and I have seen this ghost appear in even the clearest of nights. The ghost seems to prefer warm or cool, clear nights, or nights just after it has rained. Old Park. A little girl wanders saying, "Where's my mommy?" At night, she has a white dress and looks around behind trees. You can see her behind a tree or walking. Old Woman Hollering Creek, located off Interstate 10 between San Antonio and Houston. This forest-surrounded creek is said to be haunted by the spirit of a woman who drowned her 2 children in the creek and now walks along the bank searching for them. Many have claimed to hear and see her, and it is said that if you get too close to the creek, her hand will reach out and pull you in. Patterson Road is located between Highway 6 and Eldridge in Houston. This place is rumored to be the site of a Civil War battle, and the bridge closest to Eldridge is haunted. If you park in the center of the bridge and turn your car off, there will begin to be tapping noises all over your car. They aren't just the sounds of your car settling. They are mostly on the sides in the back of the car. It is said that the spirits of the soldiers who died. Be careful, this road is absolutely pitch black at night. However, you can see cars coming from either direction for quite a distance. We have known people who had turned their cars off and they would not restart. And there was one that had bought a brand new car, a high-end, I can't remember whether it was a Porsche or what, but something along that line. And it had to be completely rewired after he had killed the ignition switch while parked on that bridge, and had to have it towed to the back for rewiring. Patterson Street. While driving down the narrow road slowly, black objects start to chase a car. Handprints start to appear on the windows, and cold spots are felt in the car. Sometimes the black object runs right next to the car or the passenger side of the car. Robert Louis Stevenson Elementary School. An old custodian who worked there in the 80s died in his sleep. He was an older man who lived his job. In many occasions, he has been heard and felt by the staff. He often opens and closes closet doors and will sometimes call out in a whisper using the person's name. The Spaghetti Warehouse has reports of salt and pepper shakers being moved, and even fully or disembodied apparitions, strange feelings of not being alone, and photos of orbs and mist throughout the building. This building does not have a basement, and the upstairs seating area is the area that is supposed to be haunted. The old downtown library building is said to have the ghost that plays a violin in the dead of night. Some say it's the spirit of the old maintenance man that worked there in the 20s and 30s. I have the whole story on him. I think he came to Houston in 1923, and he died there in the library in 1936. He had a German Shepherd dog named Petey, and sometimes the dog's toenails can be heard on the floors in the library when you hear the violin music. The Wanchi Brothers Cafe in Spring is really a portion of the Houston on its north side. The building has served many purposes, including a rail station, brothel, and restaurant. Many have seen an apparition of an old man Wanchi on the upstairs balcony, and several waitresses claim to have seen him. Valley Oaks Elementary School. A former worker reports always felt an eerie presence in the girls' bathroom. Many kids told the workers that the school used to be a cemetery a long time ago and used to look out at the engraved cemetery. There's a legend that a girl died on the merry-go-round a long time ago, decapitated. On the bottom of the merry-go-round, they don't have that merry-go-round anymore. My sister said that when she was in the girls' restroom, she heard a toilet flush by itself. Many report that when they turned off the bathroom lights and chanted La Llorona, Bloody Mary 40 times, she would appear. My sister and many students were witnesses of seeing the girl praying to Satan to a tree and then rolling her eyes till they were white. The Rice Lofts, formerly the Rice Hotel at 909 Travis Avenue, downtown Houston, Ghost dancers appear in the ballroom. And in November of 1963, the room where John F. Kennedy spent his last night seems to be haunted. The Esperson buildings at 808 Travis and 815 Walker. Millie Esperson had the Italian Renaissance building with a grand cupola constructed as a memorial to her husband, Neil Esperson. It was the tallest building in Texas when it was completed in 1927. Millie Esperson's adjoining building was built in 1941. Watch for the ghost of Millie Esperson. It is an open office building. The Alley Theater at 615 Travis. The theater director was murdered in the 60-year-old theater in 1982. The killer and ex-security guard at the theater was executed for the crime in 1993. The spirit of a woman killed on the 4th floor is what you watch for. Peaceful pecan tree at 509 Louisiana. It shades the Longhorn Cafe patio. The misshapen tree surrounded by buildings is thought to be about 75 years old and a descendant of the pecan grove that stood in the area bounded by Louisiana, Milam, Travis, and Prairie. Sam Houston negotiated a treaty with Chief Bowles under the tree in 1836. President Merrill B. Lamar invalidated the treaty. Bowles died in the Battle of Neches in 1839. Watch for a misty figure of an American Indian near the tree at midnight. Molly's Pub, that used to be Solente's Irish Pub, at 509 Main Street. The old building is creaky, but the manager says he hasn't seen any ghost. He has only been on the pub a couple of months and wonders if where the ghost rumors originated. Now, we actually got invited to do an investigation at Molly's Pub. We're told that a woman was murdered in the women's restroom. She was stabbed to death. And so we were investigating that, and we had activity that night. But it's been some years ago since we did that, almost 12 years ago, I think. La Carafe at 815 Congress. Treebeards is at 315 Travis. It was built in 1870. It was called the Baker Travis Building. It's the second oldest building in Houston. Watch for cold spots. The ghost story started when one of the bean cooks said Jamie Mintz, co-owner, when a cook described the ghost that appeared. The owners realized it sounded like Mr. Danowitz, an elderly tailor who shared the building with Treebeards when it opened in 1978. Mr. Danowitz hasn't been seen lately, but groups come in and take pictures. The Pink Monkey at 709 Franklin. The Brewery Tap at 717 Franklin. The Magnolia Ballroom at 715 Franklin. All three of those buildings are very close together downtown on Franklin Street. There is also the historic Donnellan family crypt that is under Franklin, close by, within a block, at the Bayou, Brays Bayou. I'm going to skip that one because that's not one we should be investigating. And then at Franklin and Congress is the Pilot Building. There is a building at 2309 Wichita Street, that is not quite where it used to be. The former owner of the home is said to be a retired VA nurse. Look at the picture of that house. It's huge. The Houston Grand Opera, the Rice University Chapel, the Jesse H. Jones Library are all said to be haunted. The Museum of Fine Arts in Houston is haunted. The Lucky School is supposed to be an elementary school located at 1004 Palmer at the McKinney intersection, served African-American students as part of the Harrisburg original name in Houston, Texas Independent School District. And so it is now a historic building. At the Heritage Society, which is an 1823 old place, is an example of early Texas frontier architecture constructed of roughly hewed cedar logs and mortised and tendon jointure. The original one-room building was encapsulated inside a larger additions in later years. It was moved from the bank of Clear Creek at Sam Houston Park in 1973 and restored. The cabin now illustrates the hardships faced by immigrants permitted to settle in colonial Texas in Austin's colony. There is the 1847 Kellum Noble House. You could read about that yourself. The 1850 Nichols Rice Cherry House. The 1868 San Felipe Cottage. The 1868 Pilot House. The 1868 Fourth Ward Cottage. The 1870 Yates House that belonged to the Reverend Jack Yates, who was a well-known figure here in Houston, Texas. 1891 St. John Church was built by German and Swiss immigrants. The 1893 Bakery Family Playhouse is at the Heritage Site, and the 1905 Statini House. That's just a sample of some of the places you can visit here in Houston that are fun places that are historic, and at the same time, you get a little insight into what it used to be like to live here. Perhaps you'll want to attend some of these locations by yourself or with another group. We'll see you later. Good night, everyone.